It's the engineer. Like I said, this still isn't episode 3. What we're doing here right now, we're just trying to explain a little bit of the background that goes into the higher light studios. Um, like I said, we're going to be doing a lot of entertainment here, but first couple of episodes, we just want to cover the groundwork of the belief kind of ideology. I guess you could call it the operational theory of us here at the Higher Light Studios and what it is that we're trying to do. So before we get into any of the actual entertainment, we need to explain exactly why it is that we're trying to raise everybody's vibrations nowadays. All right. Um, like I said, I'm your host, the engineer, TJ. All right. But here's a little scientific background, seriously, into why we do need to raise our higher vibrations. Okay. Um, all right. So we covered a little bit of the background from last time. Okay. And we just want to fill in the rest of that story so we can kind of see where this high vibrational thing kind of comes from. Okay. Last time we covered some of the probabilities with the evolution and the return of the epoch and everything. We kind of go into that a little bit more in a little greater detail. Okay. Year 2012 was, like a celestial cycle. These ancients had sophisticated astrology, an accurate calendar system that's tracked events for hundreds of thousands of years. There's about 20 calendars altogether. But the one in particular we're going to focus on right now is the Mayan long count calendar. Okay. And that one in particular, I believe, started August 11th, 3114 BC. Okay. And it ends December 21st, 2012 AD. There's a series. It consists basically of a series of dots and lines that are formulated and inscribed on interlocking cogs that mark the time frame. Basically, it functions like an odometer. Cogs, all rotating larger cogs. Smaller subcycles rotate and reset before the larger cycles or cogs begin counting up. Okay, so what you have is a long count calendar that has 5 levels. There's a day cycle. This is first level. The 20-day cycle is the second. The 360-day cycle is the third. And let's see, 1, 2, 3, fourth is the 7,200 day cycle, which is almost 20 years. And then after that, you have the Baktun cycle. It's just under 400 years. It takes 13 Baktuns to equal one long count cycle. This spans roughly 5,125 years. Okay. December 21st, 2012 ends that full cycle. The reason for the end is the alignment of antiquity. This is when the December solstice sun comes into alignment with the dark rift in the Milky Way galactic center. And at that time, there will be kind of like a solar crossing. The galactic center of our galaxy, their central sun, will start to send a certain light frequency from that galactic milky center, that essence, that it's like a certain je ne sais quoi. It's like it's a higher frequency it's a higher light vibrational frequency that we're out of line with right now. But when we step into that, we'll be in alignment with the dark rift and the intellect that actually created our entire galactic system, our solar system, and everything like that. That mother light. We're gonna get into that a little bit later. All right. The dark rift is a band of interstellar dust at the galactic center, a place of rebirth. Okay. All right. Now, let's get into Nibiru a little bit more now, okay? Nibiru comes on a 3,600 year cycle. It's known, last time, in the last cycles, it destroyed, in the Egyptian text, what was known as Planet Tiamat, I believe, was obliterated by Nibiru in one of the last passings and converted that planet into the asteroid belt. And I believe some of that debris formed portions of our solar system as well. Past civilizations like Atlantis and Lemuria on Earth could have been destroyed by the last visit. Okay. The winged sun or planet X is actually part of our solar system. It could be a binary star system. It could be like a failed star, brown dwarf. It could be a large gas planet or failed sun. It's 5 times larger than our planet, 100 times as dense, and it generates an inner light heat that can warm its 7 moons. Let me check the timer. Okay. Now, guys, as you know, a lot of people have kind of told you, like, we're trying to make sure that we're evolved correctly for this time phrase, and fate, excuse me. And everybody's kind of getting into this higher vibrational frequency that we all have to kind of evolve to and get in sync with. And a lot of people are kind of looking into now, what exactly is it that happens if we don't evolve? Like, what if it's like, I don't want to evolve? What happens to me? Well, what you gonna do? Like, what's this thing? What can this thing really do if we don't evolve? Now, the consequences for not evolving to the correct vibrational frequency, I'm going to go into here. Remind me to put these on because my eyes are starting to hurt. Okay. All right. Now, the effects is that the Earth, well, this will happen anyway. The Earth is going to shift on its axis, causing a polar shift. And this could send large tidal waves, 1 to 3 miles high, racing across continents. Superstorms, packing winds up to 300 miles an hour, sweep across the land. Tectonic plates fracture, causing massive earthquakes. Land masses collapse into the ocean, causing new land masses to appear that are rising up out of the ocean. Meteorites bombard the planet that were misplaced by Nibiru at the far ends of the solar system, and then dragged here from the asteroid belt and its gravitational pull. Massive solar flares caused by Nibiru's gravitational pull on our sun that could incinerate the entire surface. So we gotta watch out for this. All right. Now, as far as the population effects that something like this could cause, is possibly could wipe out 2/3 of the planet's population, and of the remaining 1/3, 2/3 of that remaining 1/3 would then be wiped out, would die within 6 months of starvation, exposure, and diseases. Allegedly, some aliens came here and were communicating with some of our suits and told them, warned of the effects of this dangers of Planet X. They say that every 25,000 cycles, our Earth is pelted with large stones from the sky. I believe these are the remnants of the asteroid belt that are in tow, and then come in from the gravitational pull, and then are repulled by our gravitational pull of our Earth away from that trail, and then come in as comets, asteroids. Now, as Nibiru draws closer to the sun, the electromagnetic exchange partially ignites Nibiru with a red glow and a coronal discharge, giving it the appearance of fiery wings. And if you check some of the ancient Egyptian, that's my place. That's where the engineers descended from, the Egyptians. That's where I'm descended from, the Egyptian lords. I'm actually Nigerian Yoruba, but our tribe, the Yorubas, are descended from the original Egyptians, not the people that are there today, just mixed descendants. We're from the Nubians that used to understand this knowledge. So we got a little nugget of it still here. All right. Now, as Nibiru draws closer to the sun, NASA is tracking the object, curiously enough, but under the name of Eris. And its moon is known as Dysnomia or Lawless. Now, let me check the time here. We're just under 9 minutes. Great. Okay. Now, to get into now, guys, I can tell you probably a little bit in the next episode more what it is of the mathematics that kind of go into this dimensional upshift, and also the energy that will kind of give you the vocality of our mission here of trying to raise our vibrational frequency so that we don't have to go through this. Okay, because you're looking at the consequences here. It's like it's just pretty steep. These aliens were, I think, telling them that we need to build underground structures and everything, but that's, if we haven't evolved to the correct vibrational frequency. If we're able to raise our vibrational frequency enough to be able to sync with this upshift, we can prevent this apocalyptic epoch that's coming in. It's been predicted, because we can convert that from destruction, An obliteration to an epiphany. It's our choice. We can choose which of these options that we're going to go into. If we can elevate our frequency enough, we can make this. It's bigger than what you see around you. It's materials, metals, machines. Digging underground is only part of the problem, because you notice that this same cyclic shift is going to hit all the planets at the same time. What we have to do, what they didn't cover here, what the aliens were saying when they said we need to build our shield, curiously enough, this is a spiritual shield. This is a vibrational shield. This shield is the element of love. It's like an ozone layer. You can't see it. But if not for that dense gaseous cloud, we'd be pelted and bombarded by meteorites, asteroids, all kinds of unimaginable things. But that atmospheric shield helps to shield us from that. The same way that our love shield, believe it or not, I know it sounds kind of corny, or high vibrational shield would shield us from a lot of these events. It would greatly reduce these variables. And we're going to kind of get into a little bit more of the mathematics, sorry about that, behind these particular events next time, and also the energy, so that you can kind of plug this spirituality into the energy and the vibrational frequency upshift to kind of understand what it is overall that we're trying to do here is put out those positive vibrations so that we can influence that overall effect. Okay, just to give you guys a little bit of background, I'm the leader of my organization here. I'm what's known as the engineer or senior engineer, architect, whatever you want to call it. Those rings I was telling you guys before about, I have one of them on right now. These are handcrafted by me, and they're supposed to be for members of my organization, but I guess they like the artwork on these things. They stole so many of them that now I've actually raised the price associated with these objects to, I was going to say approximately like $2,000, because I usually don't see people stealing small end objects like these unless they're not even gold plated, but actually contain gold and diamonds. You don't see people stealing silver rings. It has to at least be a minimum of gold, and usually gold with diamonds in them, to warrant someone of risk actually going to jail. So I have one of my engineer rings on here. Well, I have on a couple of rings here, but I don't know if you're able to see it. I'll try to put this close enough to the camera for you to be able to see the script of the ancients, Egyptian lords that I've instilled into this ring. All right, that denotes power through association. I don't know if you can see this. This thing really can't pick the glyphs, the ancient language, up too well, but I don't know if you can see that. It's kind of like an example of it. All right, these are my engineer rings. This is what I was talking about before, and people were trying to take, and the price of these things approximately at $2,000 a pop. I was gonna let them go, but I'd be actually willing to let it go for approximately $500 a piece. And like I said, it's because of the craftsmanship that goes into these things, and the association with being an entry-level rank into my organization. Okay. Now, I don't know, guys. Like I said, we're trying to raise those vibrational frequencies. We don't really have a lot of time left on this thing. I'm really trying to cram this thing in here. So I know this still is kind of in its cheesy phases here, but we're trying to raise some frequencies. Okay, guys. So I want you to look forward to the next episode. And also, episode 3 is coming up, for the entertainment series. But I'm going to try to make a part 3 to this vibrational frequency Nibiru thing, too, because I think this is pretty important. All right?